You're watching the Battered Fans Network.
The heroes are back. Beards talking balls, rapping pink and black. Coming live from the 305, it's official tissue. The Batter Fan, Chris and Dan, weekly rocking with you. We talk Messi, Boosie, Jordy, Lucho, the Fat Four, to Ben Cram, Noah, Ruiz, Fred. What more could you ask for? Tighten up and get ready, listen in on the pod. Solana and X in Espanol, just to even the odds. Breakdowns and gas bagging, join the tribe and just vibe. $3.99, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't hesitate, say what's up, go ahead and come in. No question about it, I'm ready to get hurt again.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Chris, the Herons are back. Welcome everybody to episode number 405 of the Battle Herons podcast. I'm your host, Dave Gunn, and alongside me, as always, Mr. KBD. How are you doing, sir?
I mean, rest in peace to the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, I guess, but you know.
You know what? The last time we played him, we got our ass kicked, so I don't know,
Gotta take it. Yeah. We'll see. And they just won 5-1 against Necaxa. That's no bueno.
They were on a rough stretch of games recently. Right before Leagues Cup, they had lost to Cincy, they lost to NYCFC. They drew. Did they lose to Charlotte or they drew with Charlotte? They were in a tough run, but definitely right before Leagues Cup, they beat Columbus, and then they've had a decent Leagues Cup. They're one of the 4 teams that's going to move on to the knockout stages. So I'm sure they're feeling much better right now.
Well, they drew against. They ended up drawing against Charlotte. They drew against Montreal. They lost against NYCFC, and then that's when they won 2 games against New England and Columbus before hitting the Leagues Cup. So
yeah. So I think we're in pretty good shape right now with the last couple of games, even though Messi's not playing. Messi is yet to appear at Inter and Cold Stadium within Orlando. He still hasn't played up there. And I'm sure that's going to be a storyline in itself, right? Because Orlando fans are they joke around about how he's scared, but I'm sure that they're very frustrated that they haven't had a chance to see the GOAT in person.
But it's crazy because they've been hating the fact that we have Messi and they call us plastic fans and a plastic team and a plastic this and a plastic that, even though they had Kaká 45 years ago.
But doesn't mean that they don't appreciate.
They're so mad. They're so mad. And the fact that the season ticket members can't make up on their tickets. Too bad.
I'm sure that sucks. And also, you hated Michael Jordan, but I'm sure you would have appreciated to see Michael Jordan play in person.
I guess. I think the fact is that you have consistent play all around and you have really good players in the NBA. So, I mean, watching Jordan, I guess that would be the equivalent, but there's other players that do pretty good in the NBA at that time too. So,
well, that's what we're in for. We're back to the MLS. Our record, for those that forgot, 12 wins, 6 draws, 4 losses. We have 3 games in hand. Do you remember how many points we are off the lead?
From the lead, right, we're 8 points away. Philly is at 50 points.
Yep.
Yeah, we have 42, and Orlando's actually right behind us in 6th place. They have 41 points.
But they've also played 25 games because everybody's more or less has played 25 games except for us.
Everybody.
NYCFC and Chicago have only played 24. New England, Toronto, and Atlanta have only played 24. But the top teams from 1 through 7, which are the non-play-in teams, they've all played 25 games. We're the only one up there that's at 22. So we're still in good standing as far as winning the East and Supporter Shield. Oh, let me see how we are at Supporter Shield wise. Because in the West, the top team has 46 points. So we're in great shape for the Supporter Shield as of right now. As of right now, the Supporter Shield, we're still in great shape because all we have to do is keep winning. Now, Orlando is a good team, has good talent. But if we get a result, right, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to talk about this in a second. But if we get a result, let's say 1 point, you still have 3 games in hand.
Absolutely.
You might have Philadelphia win and get be up 10 points, but you have DC United coming up. You have New England, I believe, coming up. You have winnable games after this one. After the Orlando game, the schedule gets a lot weaker. So we're not looking too bad. I think Chicago we play soon. LA Galaxy. which is literally the worst team in the league right now.
We have
So,
Charlotte. I mean, Charlotte's been very hot and cold.
yeah, right. So we're not looking too bad right now as far as the supporter shield. For everybody likes to talk about the supporter shield, we still have a pretty decent chance of winning the supporter shield. And now the supporter shield for the supporter shield like itself doesn't really matter. The reason you want it, you want to have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Another reason you want it is kind of what we're kind of enjoying right now with the Leagues Cup.
Yes.
Leagues Cup, the home field advantage for Leagues Cup basically goes off based off of the rankings last season. Last year we won supporter shield, and that is why we host every game except for if we were to play Cruz Azul. Cruz Azul is already eliminated. So literally, no matter how far we go into this tournament, we will be playing at home. That's another reason why you want to do the supporter shield.
Grab the supporter shield for sure.
It's not so much about that big plate. It's more about what comes with it. And also, if you win the supporter shield, you get an automatic bid into the CCC, which you might get in the Leagues Cup also if you end up in the top 3.
Well, and Mike V is mentioning it here. We're winning supporter shield, Leagues Cup, and MLS Cup. I mean, look, I don't care too much in terms of like Leagues Cup and supporter shield because we've had those. But since we couldn't get the CCC, I think it's kind of critical that we walk away with multiple pieces of hardware for the season. And Mike V saying, will Danny accept Mascherano is better than Tata if he wins MLS Cup?
No.
It's going to be all Messi at that point, right? Like Messi is the one to praise.
Well, he has a much better team right now. Like, look at the team that he has right now. Do you remember what Tata was doing in the summer with Julian Gressel and Robert Taylor? And who else did he have on there? Like right now, he has Rodrigo De Paul. Like he has like, come on, man. He has Segovia. Like he has center backs. He has Falcon back there. He has a healthy
Ian Frey is a backup.
Yannick Bright for a full season, even though Mascherano hasn't wanted to start him. Tata's the one that gave him the starting job during the summer. Like, come on, no.
Well, I mean, what do you think? What do you think about the fact that he has like legitimately so much power in each sort of phase of the team? We're like Mascherano, he has such great talent to work level by level, right? I mean, in the defensive position, midfield is stacked. Like midfield is stacked. He has Redondo and Bright, who would start in any MLS team as backups, like to alternate. So,
and Rubito said that Tata frustrated me with his frustrating tactics. I thought it was more the lack of substitutions that really killed us a lot of times with Tata. I thought the tactics were fine. I thought that he was very good with his tactics. I mean, he's the one that kind of exposed Wilfred Nancy every time they played. But the lack of substitutions was really killing him. Even though Mascherano started doing the same thing.
Well, and not to make this a whole Tata versus Masche, right? Mike V saying Gomez over Segovia, 1,000% in terms of like the output and what we needed for that team. I feel like Segovia is another player. You throw him on any MLS team, he's playing 90.
I think if you put Segovia to play centrally in some capacity, he's better than Diego Gomez. If you put Segovia to do what he's best at, he is better at what he does than what Diego Gomez at what he does, if that makes sense.
What he would bring to the table, essentially, like his skill set,
I think
bring. Yeah,
I think Segovia has a higher ceiling than Diego Gomez.
What about this? Rojas over Allende and Fafa and Segovia? That's a stretch because you're adding the and Segovia. Mike V, I don't know. That's too much.
Maybe Allende. I mean, I'd take Cocojan over Allende at this point.
No.
So
the guy lives in the bargain bin.
So on Sunday, we got Orlando. First question. Do you think we rotate this squad? Because we are coming off of playing 3 games in 8 days. 3 days and 8 games. 3 games in 8 days. Jesus, tongue twister.
Talking my language, Stancy.
Do you think we rotate going into Orlando?
I think it would be a smart idea to do that, considering, like, first of all, Allende, I think he needs to see the bench. I think you definitely need to get him out. Segovia, I think you need to keep in. I think the midfield, any sort of tandem you do, I guess it's considered rotating. And then with the center back position, I feel like maybe you give Falcon some rest. Noah Allen's coming in fresh off of an injury. He's feeling better. Ian Frey, right? You want some offensive power. We can be able to bring him in instead of Wagon. I feel like this could be a healthy rotation kind of a game.
I think that there won't be much rotation because Orlando is a good squad. I think they're going to take this chance to get Rodrigo De Paul more meaningful playing time because I think that it is important for him. The fact that we have a week off after this leads me to believe that they will go all in on this game. And maybe they do rotate for that Galaxy game because that Galaxy game is on Saturday. And then the game against what it's looking like it's going to be Tigres, I think, would be on Tuesday. So for those of you that have plans to go to that Galaxy game, you might see a heavily rotated squad that day on the 16th because I really do believe that you're not going to see many starters that game because we literally have Saturday to Tuesday for that Leagues Cup game. And, I think that more of a chance to see a rotated squad for that game than the Orlando game.
Well, and Mike V is bringing up a good point here, and this is where you're probably going to get under Danny's skin. He says the issue that is that Allende stretches the field. We don't have anyone else to do that. And Soccer Daddy's saying Allende should play a striker. That's not going to happen.
Well, he's playing as a forward as long as Messi's not here. And as far as stretching the field, we have our guest that he's going to tell us because I don't believe Orlando plays a very high line. They have one of the better defenses in the league statistically. They've only given up 33 goals in the 25 games that they've played. So don't expect Allende to have a lot of space to run into. So, you know, that's when he's effective. If he's not doing that, that's why he was effective in the Club World Cup. That's why he's been effective in the Leagues Cup because he has space to run into. You can catch him with an over-the-top ball or a through ball that catches him into space, and he can run in and try to take those horrible angled shots where he goes completely wide. So that's great for Allende against those teams. But once he goes back into the MLS and they start playing a little more defensive, it's not the same. So we'll see what our guest says about Orlando and the way they play defense. But you were going to say something, Chris? I feel like you got something you're about to say.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay. All right. And then one last thing. Messi hates Mickey Mouse. Do you really think Messi is ever going to play in Orlando? Or is it just going to be like just completely out of like we're just not going to get lucky enough to ever see him playing there? Because I would enjoy seeing him play in Orlando.
It's weird, man, because you know some of these players they do like when they get to some of these cities, some of them take some time off and do stuff within the city. And I imagine that a lot of players like to go to Orlando and go to Disney. Like, you don't think he'd be going to Disney shut down I
think he went during the off season.
He went, and was he like normal, like a regular guy? Like,
what do you think? No,
I mean, I don't think so. But is he shutting down the whole park?
I'm sure they shut things down by like sections for him. Probably he couldn't go just at a regular time.
But imagine being arrested to like Tomorrowland. Like that kind of sucks.
Maybe our guest might know that. Maybe he heard more about it. But it's wild that he's been here since 2023. I think this is the third or fourth time we play in Orlando.
Imagine he never goes.
He's missing. I know that would be wild. I hope he does, man. And I hope I get to go because I have a feeling that Orlando fans are going to be extra motivated to really
absolutely
give it to him. And that's when you're going to get spicy Messi. So I would love to be there for that, but we're not getting it. Maybe we get it in the Leagues Cup.
Quite possibly.
No, we would host the game.
Because they'd have to come here.
Yes. Yeah. But we'd host the game. All right. Well, so anything else before we bring in our guest to talk Orlando?
No, let's go.
All right. So without further ado, let's bring on Lewis from the Loud and Proud podcast. What's going on, Lewis? How are you doing, sir?
Hey, what's up, my friends? Doing great. You know, excited for the game coming up. To everybody that's watching, thank you guys for inviting me. To Chris and you, Daniel, thank you so much for your support. Certainly, we're coming into both teams coming with a high momentum right now. It's going to be a pretty messy game without Messi. A very messy game. It's going to be a very messy game for sure.
Did you hear about Messi going to Disney World, or is that in my head? He went to Disney World, right? Didn't he?
I think he went like the year he signed with Inter
Okay.
with his wife and kids, but it
Yeah.
was really nothing like him going to Interco Stadium or anything like that.
No, no, no. I know, but I figure like going to Disney World for him must be a mission. Like they have to shut down like as he
Yeah, I
walks, they're
There's
mean,
shutting
no
down
way
that
they're
park.
shutting the whole
I,
park
I,
down. There's no
I
way.
mean, he'll probably get the super, hyper, duper express pass that no one has,
Yeah.
right? Right. He probably
They
The
doesn't
like
have to wait
Mespress
a lot.
pass.
they like
Yeah,
drop him
right.
on. They literally like drop him into the rides and then
Uh,
grab him right back out.
that's
Uh,
right.
so Orlando started off hot. They were the hottest team scoring wise for a while. I remember that me and Chris on our MLS show were hyping up the Orlando Philadelphia game because at that point they were the two highest scoring teams. Then the game went 0-0, and then Orlando just went on a tailspin after that. They eventually started picking it up. They beat Cincinnati right before Leagues Cup. Leagues Cup, they've been doing very well. What could you tell about Orlando's season, this up and down season so far?
Well, I mean, you said it. It started hot. It's inconsistency has been a recurring theme that has frustrated a lot of part of the fandom, especially you know, just from the start when Torres left and they signed Marco Pasalic, the fans, first thing they did was just kind of doubt the signing, and look how it paid out.
He's been good.
Right? He's been doing great. Definitely, it's been a little bit of for Pareja with sometimes not knowing when to rotate and when to rotate. It's been a little bit of a struggle, and obviously some of the DPS this year have outperformed, like Martin Ojeda, for example, but also underperformed, like Luis Muriel.
Luis Muriel. Mhm.
Like people expected Muriel for this year for him to be fully acclimated to the MLS, and it did not pan out the way fans wanted to and the team wanted to. Ramiro Enrique came alive, but also inconsistency. So he will score in 2 games back to back, and then not score in 5 games. So then Duncan got injured. Duncan Maguire got injured. So and then Ivan Angulo, which was one of the players last season who was very influential into getting Orlando where they ended up being, dipped. I think he had some sort of family. He had a little young daughter and his wife situation, and his performance just kind of dipped. And so all the heavy lifting carried on the arms of players like Alex Freeman, which is literally his first year being, playing fully with the first team, right? Obviously a great asset, but he's still kind of started kind of green. Now he's kind of developed to a very strong right back, and some of the subs, that are still not yet acclimated to the MLS, like Nico Rodriguez, the Colombian, the kid that they signed, like 20-year-old kid. So that plug and playness from last season, it was kind of very inconsistent this season. Now, the past few games, we've seen on Orlando thriving in attack, especially with Martino Ojeda's form and Marco Pasalic, right? On that right flank, I feel that's Orlando's strong side. That connection between Freeman and Pasalic on that right flank is tremendous. On the left flank, though, there's still a little bit of gaps there. So I feel like they've gotten some new players to possibly fix those issues, but they're not going to obviously have any minutes against Inter. So I feel like both teams come in a very even Stevens momentum. I think it's going to be a beautiful game. Again, it's a derby, so it's really uncertain. I'll be foolish to say, hey, Orlando's going to score I would like it for Orlando to score like five goals to Inter, 110%. I'm sure the fans will love it, but I think a derby it's a derby. And so it's going to be there's going to be a lot of friction. And actually, I was speaking about this before, just now with John, which I want to say hello to him. Definitely, there has to be more tactical discipline on set piece discipline, especially for Orlando City, which has been one of the strong suits for Inter, drawing those fouls because they're experienced players. and them taking the opportunity to score off a free kick, of a corner kick, all of that. And also the Miami's high line. I feel like the counter-attacking style of Orlando City with Ojeda and Muriel now, certainly if they start playing more of like what they did against Necaxa, they could certainly exploit that Miami's high defensive line, as they did against Necaxa with a 3-0 win, 4 goals in 45 minutes. So those quick transitions and long balls could be pretty influential. Now, I think the biggest hurdle for Orlando is going to be the ball, right? Obviously, the ball and how his form is going to be playing Orlando.
But you mentioned something that's really crazy to me, because the advantage that you get from that kind of play like feeds into a guy like Angulo that you guys have. I am terrified of that person when he gets a soccer ball anywhere near 10 feet of his radius. But you mentioned the left side as being kind of a little shaky. He's part of the left side. He's recovers very well. Is that, I guess, considered both a strength and a weakness that you guys have?
It's inconsistency. So
yeah,
he could give you a really good game.
Because if you guys don't want Angulo, we'll take him.
No, like we won Angulo, but it's just that we won the Angulo of 2024 Angulo. Yeah. And he's definitely switching back. I mean, his recent performances, I think the past 4 games, he's definitely become very influential in that left side. But now with the addition of Spicer from Toronto, they're trying to find a link-up partner, just like Freeman has Pasalic on the right. They want to find a link-up partner for Angulo. So either when he's kind of trying to defend, Spicer can take over that wing. And when Spicer is ready to go forward, Angulo can retreat. So it's just they're trying to work on that. But I mean, right now he's doing great. He scored recently. He's done assists in back-to-back games. So, but it is still kind of after Angulo, there's really no one back there.
Right. And like Louis said, usually those derby games are heavily contested. In our last 8 games, there's been 3 draws. And outside of those 3 draws, surprisingly, I just looked it up. All of those games were won by at a minimum of 2 goals. So there haven't been any 1-goal wins over those last 8 games. We won 5-0. You guys won 3-0. We won 3-1. You won 3-1. So it's been interesting because usually it's either a draw or somebody wins by 2 or more goals. So it's all or nothing with these 2 teams, which makes it a little more spicier and a little more fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Again, this is something that it's huge for the fans more than anything. A win, one win in Miami not too long ago, and then a win in Orlando. The wall's already sold out, so the supporters section is completely sold out just now.
Nice.
So when it comes to the atmosphere, it's going to be pretty heavy.
They have tickets available on the wall like throughout the season. Like it's not something that is just for the supporters.
Yeah, they have. You can purchase wall tickets, but the wall's sold out. So for this particular game, the wall sold out. Now there's tickets all around the other sides of the stadium, but like
yeah.
It's gonna be definitely a heavily contested game, which I feel like both teams come in, like you said, in a very good momentum. But it's gonna be coming to Orlando got to almost the promised land last year. Obviously
the conference finals, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I think the fans expect to get there again, at least.
Yeah.
So if you want to get there again, you need to beat the Inter Miami. You need to beat the Cincinnati. You need to beat the Columbus. And I think the schedule of Orlando coming up, this win against Necaxa, this kind of resurgence of Angulo again, this hat trick of Muriel, is definitely something that mentally is going to push the group to try to do their utmost best against Inter. And if there is a win for Orlando against you guys, clearly it will set the tone for what's coming. And there could also be a dip, depending if we lose at home. It could be a dip, fans could be like, Papia and all kind of craziness. But definitely it's a tone setter for Orlando. I think this game coming up, and it's going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be great.
Could you remind everybody what Papi Ball looks like, tactic wise?
Well, I mean, it just depends. When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. I mean, as you saw,
It's a mess.
yeah. So pretty much it's just parking the bus. Certainly it's just, there's yeah. There. I mean, there are times that Poppy parks the bus and forgets about it, and Orlando ends up losing, and that has happened. There's times that he's parked the bus minute 60. And so there's still like almost half, and you can tell tactically sometimes those situations against teams like Miami you cannot do.
Well, and the thing is, we have this player Allende, which stretches the field for us, but that only works against international teams. In the Club World Cup, because there were teams that played the high line. In League Cups, because Mexican teams were a little more aggressive. When we play against MLS teams, he's basically a non-factor. Because a lot of people play like Orlando, like LAFC, where they don't give us any space to run in behind. So he is completely, he's
useless.
I don't want to say useless. That's the word that was coming to my head. I don't want to say useless. I feel like that it's harsh, but he can't be effective. Like this isn't the game for him. So I'm okay seeing him on the bench. I think he'll start anyway because I mean we don't really have any other option. But this isn't the game for him. So that's Papi Ball. What would you say is the weakness of this team? I know you guys are one of the highest scoring teams. You guys also have one of the best defenses. But if you had to choose a weakness for this team, what would you say the weakness is?
Again, it's
consistency.
It's consistency, but it is mainly, I feel, three things. The first one, set piece discipline. I think that's something that they need to get better at. I think there's been a couple of goals that haven't been on goals by the center back and the right back, kind of putting the ball inside the net. There's been botches like that, and that should not happen. Also, sometimes a lack of communication in the mid. Wilder Cartagena, it's obviously he tore his Achilles. We've gotten Edward Atuesta, and we've got Cesar Araujo. Cesar Araujo is in his last year of contract with Orlando in his option year. So, there were talks before of, him kind of leaving the club. And he stayed. But I don't think he's the same Cesar as he was before. He's still kind of playing that rough, but smart rough, without any yellow cards or red cards. But lately, he kind of dwindles into, getting in front of someone's face, And when you're facing a DePaul, you're facing a Segovia, and you're facing, that Akramashki, and these are players that are going to piss you off. And I think being level-headed in those moments, especially in a derby, that could definitely go against Orlando, especially in the mid with a player like Araujo. That it's a kind of like a firecracker. It's easy to kind of piss him off, and DePaul knows how to do that. So
yeah, absolutely. He's one of those players that you like on your team, but playing against him is a pain in the ass.
Exactly. Well, so that to me, those two things are very important.
Now, I want to find out who the X factors are in your team, like one or two guys, just real quickly. And I don't want it to be Muriel because
he's not an X factor. He's
just so
he came alive. This hat trick that he had was a spark of hope. But I would expect that Luis wouldn't say Muriel is an X factor. Well, I mean, I guess
now you mentioned make a difference, but you mentioned the guy Rodriguez, right? A Colombiano that seems like he might be finding some time in the team. That to me kind of like, strikes a little bit of attention because I'm going to start paying attention to that guy. Give me like a guy or two that we should kind of pay attention to. And by the way, I also do not like Schlegel. He is a punk, but that's just my opinion. So give me two guys.
Schlegel is a guy who, but same. You could say same with half the team in Inter Miami.
Yeah.
You know, you could say the same thing
Suarez.
about football.
Suarez is a
Suarez.
bully.
Suarez.
I'll admit it.
You can say
I'll
about
admit it.
You know,
Suarez.
There's gonna be I can't wait to see Suarez and Schlegel just
no, I
at
do
it. That's
feel
gonna be
though.
amazing.
Yeah, I do feel though that that's the thing that you bring a good point. There are times at Schlegel and at Alfo that
Mathematics.
come
Oh
from,
my gosh.
like for example, a lot of the Inter Miami players come from really top level teams,
Mhm.
right? So the Orlando City players come from like Racing, they come from Montevideo City,
Those
right?
Yeah.
Right.
grassroots
So
teams, uh-huh.
so
Real
these are
gully
these
teams.
right. These are like Fulhams or like Watfords, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
so like they are known for being very scrappy players
Mhm.
already, but it took them also a long time to get used to Pareja system. So they're actually they have improved. You know, you may see, yeah, he's a effing bully, but he's actually, I mean, you would have seen him
Tamed.
before,
He's tamed.
right? So now,
My
yeah.
goodness.
So, and believe it or not, he's actually toned it down tremendously. But I do feel that sometimes that bulliness, maybe that aggressiveness, comes out in the wrong moments, and against a team so experienced like Inter, with that players that have played the highest level of soccer, that could be a factor too if they're not on the right, if they have not woken up on the right side of the bed. You know what I mean? You know,
Mhm.
So
Arshella
then
could
give
get
me
up, right, and get in the face of like the Paul, and you know, and it could be an issue there. Red card for Orlando. Orlando's screwed with 10 men, right? So
yes.
you know, those are a couple of things that Inter can, you know, even do with the players that they have against Orlando.
So two guys. Give me two guys that we should that are
So
like
so
under the radar we should watch out for.
definitely, I will say Dagerdan Thorhalsen. It's a player that comes off the bench, the Icelandic international. He comes in. He could fit as a five. He could fit as a winger. He could
Okay.
fit as a mid. Sometimes even 10. Also, David Brekalo. Is a player right now playing as a Slovenian center back, but is playing left back right now, and he's doing
Yes, he
tremendous.
started last game.
Yeah, so Brekalo,
Got
and
a
he
yellow
goes
card.
he goes into the attack very well, and it meshes really well with Angulo right now. So Brekalo could be definitely very influential in that back line. And I would say, obviously, Martino Ojeda is the guy. I mean, Martino Ojeda right now is the guy who's got the goals, the volley. You know, he's doing it all.
For
That's
Orlando,
good.
he's the one that's in the MVP talks. Um,
See,
would you
Danny,
say?
he served us a steak with Ojeda and then a baked potato and some veggies.
Yeah, he gave us
Gave us a nice little
round,
platter there.
a nice plate. Um, would you say that you guys are more dangerous up the right side or the left side? I'm just trying to think. We do push up high with our fullbacks, so we do leave ourselves open to the counterattack. If Ian Frey's playing for us right back, I feel a little better about getting back on defense when they push up high. On the left side with Jordi Alba, we do find ourselves getting caught with our pants down quite a bit. Would you say that your right side is more dangerous in the attack or the left side?
Well, I mean, it's right now. I mean, after the Necaxa game, I think
Freeman?
they're both. I think Freeman is going to be a factor. Now the thing with Freeman is he's a young player, and for him, he's going to play again. It's how strong he is mentally playing against a Jordi Alba, right?
Yeah.
Physically, he could impose himself to Jordi Alba and literally like close them, shut them down. I can certainly believe that 110%. The whole point is, what is Jordi Alba going to do to piss him off, and then he's flundering? Or is he going to be coming into the game thinking, oh, I'm playing against Jordi Alba, and kind of play it safe? Like the first year when Messi came, everybody wanted Messi's jersey everywhere he went.
That's died down a bit.
That's definitely died down, but in the beginning, so it's one of the first few derbies that Freeman plays as a starter, right? So, but he's definitely a player that is going to spend probably not too long in Orlando. Probably right now there are talks possibly of him next year going to Europe. But definitely he's a player that also controls the pace of the game. Like against Necaxa, for example, a lot of the attack came from that right side between Freeman and Pasalic.
Yeah.
And they're fast, treading back defensively and being tactically savvy. But again, against Inter, I say it's a complete different ball game because there's that factor that's a derby, and they have a heavy bag on them with the fans. And I think this year, even though it's been a up and down roller coaster for Orlando, the home stands or like the home games, they've lost and tied a lot of games Orlando this season at home. So a win here would be a really good win for the fans also. And a loss, it'll be like,
Yeah.
We lost at home
Deflating.
again.
It's gonna be
Right.
deflating.
Yeah, exactly. It's a momentum killer. So it's important.
Let's make
for
some
those
bets, Danny.
for those of you that are NFL fans, by the way, the Freeman, right back that we keep talking about, actually Antonio Freeman's son
It's
used to play for
fun,
the
yeah.
Packers. Yeah. So
The Packers,
in case
yeah.
anybody that's an NFL fan, that's a fun fact there. All right, Luis, let's say that you are a degenerate gambler and you decide for some crazy reason that you're going to put the house on Miami. Don't know why, but you decide you're going to bet the house on Miami. And then Sunday morning comes, and then you start feeling a little weird, like, ooh, maybe I made a mistake, but I can't take it back. So you go to the stadium, and you walk up to Macherano, because for some reason you have access to him, and you whisper in his ear, this is how you beat Orlando. What are you telling him?
Well, I mean, definitely, the mid. I think having players like the ball, be that aggressive pressing from Miami's midfielders and forwards, forcing those turnovers. Like I said, Cesar Araujo, it's really has not been his best season this year. A lot of turnovers, like around 6 or 7 turnovers a game sometimes for a number 6. A lot of people attribute it to Cartagena not being in there, but it could be. But I think he kind of dipped a little bit. So how he's playing, it's definitely something that's going to be influential. Also, the set pieces, man. I mean, I think, having that experience and sending out those set pieces and having shooters like DePaul, like Suarez, all kind of that kid Segovia as well. I mean, that's going to be important. And again, if Suarez, it's 1v1 against Robin Jansen, probably Jansen will get the short end of the stick because lately he's been a little slower than usual. And he's being saved a lot by Brecalo and Rodrigo Schlegel. So out of the 2 center backs, I'll say when it comes to Luis Suarez, which is going to be probably an X factor for you guys in the attack, it's probably going to be putting a lot of pressure on Jansen rather than putting a lot of pressure on Schlegel.
And we press high, especially with our midfield. So yeah, that's interesting. Maybe we can take advantage of that.
He's
Yeah. So I think definitely it's going to be a game that it's going to be dictated for Miami, at least if they want to win. Just trying to disrupt them mid for Orlando and just going into the counter with Suarez, kind of facing and trying to look for that contact against Jansen.
No, and he also has great hold-up play where he gives other opportunities to other players to run into space. All right, so it's prediction time. Luis. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Pizarro missed twice. Yes, he had another opportunity. He missed again. All right, Luis, your prediction for Sunday's game.
Just give me numbers. Give me numbers. I'm trying to see what their money's at.
Sure. I think both teams will score. So I know that when you bet, you can bet that both teams score. So that's probably smart. I'll say it's going to be a 3-1 win Orlando.
Okay.
Oh,
A 3-1 win.
3-1. Ah.
I'm
Okay.
going 1-1 draw. I'm going to go 1-1 draw, which is a good result for Miami. Coming off of a short rest. That's 4 games in what? That's 3, 6, 7. In like 11 days. That's 4 games in 11 days. I think that's a solid result. And I'd take it. We still have 3 games in hand. I'll take a draw on the road on short rest after a busy 14 days. I'd take it. I have faith, but I try to think with my head.
You don't. No, you don't. Be quiet. That's it. Be quiet. It's over. Okay. We're winning. I'm gonna go with Mr. Krabs here. First clean sheet for Rocco Blocco. Okay. We're going to win 2-0.
Orlando is one of the better attacking teams. They've scored. They're up there as far as goals.
You know what? Okay, then I'll
and you think we're just going to randomly come up with a clean sheet with Rocco back there?
3-0 Inter Miami.
Oh,
I don't know. He has that gel, man. He has that gel. He has that gel, Rocco.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Rocco Blocos. Okay. I don't know if you know this, Luis, but like Rocco's a Blocco. So.
Well, some people saying draw. Most people say Miami win. Look, I'm okay with the draw.
For those of you saying draw, you guys are drunk.
No, that's a good result on the road in the MLS on short rest after a lot of games in the span of 2 weeks, man. But I'd take that. Luis, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to talk a little Orlando. Let everybody know where they could find you if they want to hear a little more about Orlando.
Sure. You can follow me on X, Pineda_ORL on X. You can also check out Loud and Proud Orlando, LP_podcast on X, also on YouTube. We just actually did a episode just finished, covering the Necaxa win and also previewing what's coming up next with Inter Miami. Exciting, man. It's exciting times. We appreciate you guys inviting us. So always so kind to us. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you guys have, I'm assuming you guys are hopeful for the Leagues Cup, right? Because some people try to play it off like, oh, we don't care about the Leagues Cup. I'm assuming that you guys are, I mean, you're in the final 8, so you guys want it.
You're in the top 3 right now.
Well, as of right now, at least.
We were discussing that today, and at first, if they would give us a choice to rotate against Necaxa, I would have definitely taken that and just save all the players to play Inter, because that, like I said, this is going to be a really important game for us. Now, Pareja, it's a guy that wants to compete in every game. I think after the fumble of the U.S. Open Cup that Orlando fumbled at, I think the boys want to give the fans a win, and I guess everything worked in attack. So every single sequence that they practiced throughout that week kind of worked in this game. And also Necaxa has Gago, man. Gago sucks. He's terrible coach. I mean, great player. Terrible coach, my friend. I mean, terrible. And clearly, it worked. So, yeah, I mean, we are hopeful for the Leagues Cup. Hopefully something comes out of it. But we definitely would love an MLS Cup. That's definitely something.
That's the goal for everybody for sure. And everybody that keeps talking about my Jets gear. For those of you that celebrate, today's Madden Day. Madden dropped today. I am still a Madden player, so I've been kind of playing Madden, and it's been football day for me in this household as I play Madden, and I do what I do every year, and that's win with the Jets on the video game because they can't do it in real life. So for those of you that keep bringing up the whole Jets outfit, that this is why today's Madden Day. I'm celebrating because one day they will be good. Make the Jets good for once. One day.
Oh, that's a good shirt.
One day they'll win a championship.
No, I didn't say that. I said one day they'll be good. One day they'll be good.
Plus 500.
Were you happy about the Knicks?
He was.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
You're not a Knicks fan. You're probably a Brooklyn fan.
Yeah. No, I don't mess with the Knicks.
This guy's a weirdo with the Brooklyn Nets. What?
And no, but I mean, it was insane. It was that NBA season. It was pretty good season.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
When the Knicks are good, the NBA is good. Get out of here, Dennis.
Who says that? Only Knicks fans say that. Nobody gives a crap
That's
about
not
the
true.
Knicks.
Everybody knows
Nobody
that's
gives
the
a
truth.
flying
Everybody
shit
knows
about the
that's
Knicks.
the truth, Danny.
Nobody
Everyone
cares about the no. You know why?
Everyone
Because
cares.
everybody in ESPN are Knicks fans. That's why you think that. Nobody outside of New York cares about the Knicks, man. Nobody gives a crap about them. I'm not even gonna ask you your final words. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you listening all the way to the end. Please leave us 5 stars, comment, review, all the good stuff. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching all the way to the end. Please like, subscribe, share, and for those of you in the chat, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the last 45 minutes. If you want some more MLS talk, we will be back at 10 o'clock talking Leagues Cup Phase 1 and previewing Phase 2 because in the next couple minutes we should know more or less who the final 8 teams are. It's official. Inter Miami will be playing Tigres on August 19th. Here in Chase Stadium. So we'll be previewing that in a couple minutes with our buddy from Cantina MX podcast that he covers Liga MX. So make sure you tune in for that. So with that said, we appreciate everybody. And until the next one, have a good one.
Bing bong.